Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is Tamun. This is my channel, the Cloud Security Guy. And today I want to talk about a topic which, if you're a cybersecurity professional, I'm sure you would have interacted with this topic, which is cybersecurity awareness. So I was just reading this article, about how AI-powered social engineering attacks, they're becoming a big problem for most companies, right? How deepfakes and Gen AI-powered phishing emails are really causing a lot of problems across the globe because they allow attackers to really supercharge their attacks and target people in a way that was not possible before. And this recent survey from Deloitte also, it shows that more and more executives, they are worried about deepfake attacks. People doing deepfakes of their faces, of their voices, and basically the whole world is changing when it comes to social engineering, when it comes to new types of frauds and scams that are coming up. And we've all heard this before, right? That users are the weakest link, and the biggest security risk is the user when they don't have awareness. And that is why cybersecurity awareness sessions are so critical, right? We give them either in a classroom setting to our employees, or it can be like an LMS, an online training which everybody is mandated to attend. And unfortunately, what is the problem? Well, the problem which always is there, that they are very, very boring, unfortunately, right? The vast majority of people I know, they just quickly click on the training to get to the end so they can get that attendance sheet. And most people, most employees, that's what they do. They just want to quickly finish the training because it's a mandatory training they have to do. And basically, most courses, they fail in educating users about the new types of attacks. They just roll their eyes and they want to quickly get through it. And in this video, I want to talk about what are some of the reasons for this failure and some practical tips to improve, which you can use. And of course, this is completely my 100% subjective opinion. Please don't get mad if I'm not talking about your company or your training. This is just my own experience and some tips which I believe can help you improve your cybersecurity awareness sessions, right? And this is the topic of this video. Why do they fail and what we can do about it, because it is so critical to improve this, right? If you are new to this channel, please do like and subscribe to my channel. I talk on a weekly basis about cybersecurity awareness, cybersecurity careers, AI, cloud security, basically anything having to do with cybersecurity. So what am I talking about? Like, why do cybersecurity awareness programs fail the vast majority of the time? So here are a few of the reasons in my experience why this has happened. So one is death by PowerPoint, and I'm sure if you've ever attended a presentation or online learning, this is called the death by PowerPoint, which kills people, right? The awareness session basically consists of hundreds and hundreds of PowerPoint slides, right? Full with jargon and complex information. Usually, it's a member of the cybersecurity team. They are giving a lecture, everybody is sleeping, or it's like a pre recorded online training. The focus is just to give as much information, and the people are not focusing on whether it is being absorbed and understood. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that PowerPoint is a bad tool. It's more about how you use it, right? Over relying on them or using them in the wrong way, that's what causes the presentation to fail. So, first off, you must have seen this, right? The bullet point of hell, I call it. Like the slides have like 50 bullet points, and the user is going to read all of them. One by one, he's going to read all of them, and the audience is just sitting there passively listening, no interaction, and everybody is dozing off, right? Without engagement, people will like zone out, they will forget the material, they will not understand the cyber security concepts. By the time you reach point 20, they will not remember what the first point was. Nobody likes to listen to a 2 hour presentation of the guy where he's just talking like a robot. There's too much information crammed there, right? And that becomes a huge problem. Or it can be like this table. I've seen people make this massive table with like 50 rows, cram it into one slide, and they expect people to be just listening to them what they are talking about. And even interesting topics like phishing or like malware, it becomes like very, very boring just because of the way it's presented. And sometimes people also do this, like the blob. They put a huge paragraph on the slide and they just read it word by word. Everybody is sleeping. People are not stupid. They can understand what you've written. You don't need to read out what's already written, right? You need to explain it. That is the whole point of the training. You need to explain it. So please make it like the information concise, make it engaging. So that was my first point, which is death by PowerPoint. The second one is outdated content. And this is something which I've started seeing more and more, unfortunately. like most cybersecurity awareness programs, they are not up to date with the current cyber threats. They are like, they haven't been updated for like 2 3 years, and they're telling you about threats which are honestly not relevant anymore. I mean, I have seen so many programs when they're talking about phishing, right? Phishing attacks which are happening. They're still telling people to identify emails based on grammatical errors, like typos. You know how they used to happen, right? With the email attacks, phishing, they have grammatical errors, they have typos. But unfortunately, now with things like Chat GPT, with generative AI, you don't have those issues happening anymore. So even teaching people about them, you're just wasting their time, because most of the attacks are not happening like this. Most of the email filters are easily able to catch these sort of vanilla email phishing attacks. They're not. You don't need to focus too much on them. You need to tell them about the new types of risks which are coming out. And nobody gets excited when reading about how to like reset your password. They already know, right? Sharing password, complex password, these are things which even the board of directors, completely non-technical people, even they know. And now you have enough technical controls to help you against this. I'm not saying don't talk about it, but don't make it the primary focus. A lot of advice about malware, about phishing. I mean, are you telling people about how to identify AI powered attacks? Can they distinguish deepfake attacks, like AI generated deepfake? These are the tactics you should be telling them about, right? How to spot deepfake attacks, how to spot AI powered voice phishing, right? And if you give them relevant example, it will resonate with them, and they will start understanding, okay, okay, these are the new types of attacks which are coming out, and this will interest them also. Do demos of deepfake attacks and everything, right? And really, AI has changed the game when it comes to cyber threats. You cannot be telling people about like old email phishing attacks, because you're going to be outdated and they're going to get compromised because of this, because you did not educate them about the new types of attacks which are happening. Okay, number three is no customization. Now, this is a little bit difficult, but believe me when I say it's worth it. I have done it myself, and it can really help you out, and it can really, like, what happens is cybersecurity awareness programs, they are often designed like one size fits all. So it's one training for everyone, be it senior management, technical people, and it fails to take into account that people are different, right? Different roles are there, and it makes people zone out. If you're talking to the CEO and telling them about web applications, SQL injections, he's not interested. Similarly, if you're telling like a business email compromise to like technical people, they already know about these things, right? So training designed for entry level employees, it may not be relevant to the board. You need to talk about other stuff. You need to talk about ransomware, deepfake, how attacks are impacting the bottom line, what a DDoS is going to do to the revenue. And if you're talking to technical people, tell them about secure coding, social engineering for like IT administrators, how LinkedIn fake attacks happen, and how people can be targeted IT administrators through LinkedIn. So please try and localize it. And when I talk about localizing, it can you can also use it within global organizations. So if you have offices in London, in Egypt, in the UAE, you can actually, some scams, they may be more relevant in some countries or others, right? If you're not adapted to address these regional differences, then people in your regions, they won't be prepared properly, and you will see a big jump in engagement if you localize your trainings, change the language, change it into Hindi or Arabic or Chinese, whatever offices your regions are working on. If you customize it, you will see a big jump in your engagement. Okay. And lastly, more importantly, no testing. Even though a lot of companies do this, I've still seen a massive amount of companies that do not. They do not give employees hands on experience when it comes to identifying and responding to threats. So they do a lot of book knowledge, they look at a lot of slides, but they do not, these trainings are theoretical and abstract. And they don't teach employees how to spot a deep fake, ransomware. And what's the result of this? Your employees, they will sit through a lecture and they will not know when an actual attack, when it happens, because they never got the chance to actually hone those skills and test those skills. They will not recognize a ransomware attack, a deepfake attack. They will forget your lessons. So that's why it is so important, hire a company to do a red team, hire a company to do a proper deepfake attack, a voice phishing attack, target different employees and share the results with management. This will tell you whether people are actually listening to what you're saying. It's not just an attendance report. So these were a few reasons, and I thought they were quite important. So how to improve? I mean, there are many, many ways of doing this. Where you can improve it. You can make sure that your trainings are interactive, right? That make people participate in their training real time, like make quizzes and games. Gamification is a big, big thing. A lot of solutions now, they actually give you those sort of gaming environments where people can actually simulate attacks. If you are working with a programmer, give them an environment where they have to find out like SQL injection attacks or cross-site scripting, storytelling. This will give them real world attacks and a proper way of checking out what they are doing. If you are giving a training to the finance team, customize it. Make sure that those examples are relevant to them or to the CEO or to the IT team. So this will help you greatly increase the engagement of your cybersecurity awareness sessions. And lastly, localizing it. Like I said before, if you have multiple geographies, make sure that they are different localized trainings which are focusing on the specific attacks of that region. Instead of just making a generic training which everybody has to take, you can actually focus it on the role, focus it on the geography. And lastly, of course, testing. Like I've said before, make sure that you actually test it. Make sure you actually do a red team or a phishing simulation or a deepfake attack or a voice phishing attack to check whether people are actually absorbing these trainings. So these were just a very few examples I've given. And if you follow them, you will definitely see a huge improvement in your engagements and your how people are actually not falling asleep within your trainings, right? So I hope this was useful to you. This is my completely my subjective opinion on why cybersecurity awareness programs fail. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.